Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. So we're finishing the demo and we just added this 2-scene dungeon, right, with some bats and emeralds. We added this sort of it's like kind of a trick room, but it's like it makes you think you can't walk there, but you can. If you space it up, you can totally walk and get to the other side. And if people are brave enough to go do that, we want to reward them with a treasure chest over here for the demo, because like this is just a teaser for the biome that you can explore in the demo. So it's just like a bonus optional teaser location. So we wanted to put in a treasure chest, and what we came up with was we can have a little health potion that we get from there, and I just used it and it healed me up all the way, and you can't use it unless you have hearts to heal. So if I die, then I can come and use it. It decrements its count. It remembers it for when we swap it out in our inventory system, so it remembers that. And then you can only use it if you have one, right? So if you have, actually, let's make sure that's the case, because we want to make sure they can't use it if they are out of the potion. So let's make sure to do that. It's called health potion, and we do that. Where is it called? Yeah, technically we heal up whether or not we have 0 health potions. So the way we can do that, we just have to add a conditional where we say, well, the player has to have under full health, and the health potion has to be equipped, and the item that is equipped, which is our health potions quantity, would have to be greater than 0. If that's true, then let's go ahead and we deduct our quantity and heal our player, essentially. So we still need to place this. So look, if we use it, we heal up. But we need to place it in the right scene inside of a treasure chest, right? And we've got some testing to do with the treasure chest, because basically, if you save the game with the treasure chest open, it needs to copy over your inventory as well as your inventory, you know, quantity and type and whatever's equipped and whatnot. So trying to think if we should be holding a potion. Probably not. It's just kind of equipped. I'm just thinking because, yeah, when loot's equipped, he's kind of holding it. So if we were to have the spellcast element equipped, he's holding it there. But if we have the potion and a spellcast element, I think it's a bit too much to add it to his hand. But let's see about how we would add a treasure chest, right? So, well, we should have gotten the scene location of that map, which is right here. It's a 3-5. So 3-5, we need to insert a treasure chest. So let's go find where we're inserting treasure chests in the past, and we do it in the map declarations, and we're trying to do it to a 3-5. And the way we do it here is if we say that this is the Ice Mountain health potion chest, then we need this, was it 3-5? 3-5. Okay, so we basically give it, we go into our collidable map objects table and we put in a treasure chest, and we need to give it the health potion option to the treasure chest. Yo, Loki, what's up? I'm forgetting what the 4th parameter here is, but we're trying to put in, see, the contents is that 3rd parameter. Dialog box ID. Okay. So yeah, we need to assign. We do this. We kind of just call it a treasure image. And if the contents are a health potion, we're going to assign it the health potion PNG. And then, let's see. Because, yeah, health potion, dialog box of 1, and it's going to the first dialog box. So let's put in the, you found a magical health elixir. Okay, so let's try it. I don't know where we spawned it, but we want to spawn our player in 5.3 as well, so let's go do that. So we have to walk over there. So let's say this is the Ice Mountain shortcut. Yeah, we basically are just gonna say 3.5 here to spawn us over there, and then we'll see if our treasure chest is working. So we've got a little treasure chest. That's almost it. Oh, look at that. So it's got there. It doesn't have... Oh, it's a 2. It's a 2 because the first dialog box is actually the signpost we put in there, which I do want to update. So we have to change that. So when we go in our map declarations and put this health potion, let's say that it's on the second inserted dialog box, and the first one, let's put this where the other one is. So we'll look for the, yeah. So after here, we're gonna say Ice Mountain health potion chest. Yep. Okay, so this is dialog box 1. This is dialog box 2 for the magical health elixir. And we want to put it not quite at 8.4, but 9.5. And we want to take out the boulder that's down there on 9.5. So we'll just turn off that boulder. So we don't have that also. Okay, so let's try it. Okay, we've got the thing. It's not loading the dialog box. I forget what dialog box ID. Dialog box ID. Dialog box ID. Yeah, I thought we did this right. Oh, we have to do this after we give the dialog box, because it takes in the dialog box ID from the dialog box, from this second dialog box that we insert. Shit, still busted. Okay, so how do we do treasure chest elsewhere? Looks like anytime we insert a treasure chest, it's the only thing in there. So I don't know if our active dialog box ID is actually formatted correctly. That isn't good. That is not good. What the heck, dude? Okay, so treasure chest doesn't take in the active dialog box ID. What does it do with it? We pass in a dialog box ID, then we assign it to the .dialog box ID of the treasure chest. Dialog box ID becomes the scene view's active dialog ID, and it also becomes the state machine's current active dialog ID. Couldn't tell you why. Then we flush the text of the dialog box ID from our current scene, make it activated, paused, and go to show off. Okay, so why wouldn't it work with a different number than 1? So like my question is, like, if we don't insert the signpost and we instead just insert the health potion at index 1 and give this a dialog box ID of 1, does it work? If it works, then we did implement our stuff wrong. Yeah. Okay, so my question is, maybe if we were to put in a dialog box after that one and to give this one a dialog box ID of 2 for the dialog for the signpost, can we have both? We should have taken our boulder off. Okay, so yeah, we are able to read that. And we can read that. Okay. So we kind of have to put, I mean, the issue still is that a treasure chest only works on the dialog box index of 1. Which I don't like it being like that. We tried to do it to where it works on any dialog box index, but it's just not. I don't know. I don't know. That's like we make a note of it and then make sure it's fixed for future development, because we'd want to be able to have potentially two treasure chests on one scene, or maybe not. I don't know. It's not a huge deal. But I want to change this and say. We gotta name the mountain. What is the name of... Okay, we're gonna name it Mount Wutai. It's It's a mountain home of 50 monasteries. Okay. Okay. So let's see if and when we spawn into the scene, it doesn't initialize the particle system because it only does upon a scene transition or a warp. But there are snow particles here, so if we want to read, it says Mount Wutai is off limits during blizzards, and you can't push this, you can't push this. But if you open up this, it says you found a magical health elixir. Use it wisely or just drink it for the bubbles. So we need to change the treasure X and Y to go be more realistic for this. So I believe we have that in treasure chest, right? So if the contents are a health potion, we need to assign the positioning based on our player. And we're gonna say, for right now, we're just gonna try this same offset as the loot and see. That looks pretty good. It should be right, maybe 1 pixel, and that's it. All right, you found a magical health elixir. Use it wisely. Okay. And then it's in our inventory. The treasure chest stays open. We need to make sure it stays open after we save. So, like, the treasure chest, yeah, we need to make sure we can't open it twice. Shoot, man. Okay. Okay, and then there's some rubies in here to harvest too. Okay. Okay, so I guess the big thing now is we need to not have the health potion in our inventory system until we open it from the treasure chest. So right now we're kind of just manually inserting it into the item slot of our inventory. But we need to only do that if we open. So yeah, right here. Okay. So it's basically, wow, is that all we do? So I think what I'm planning on doing is kind of having dedicated slots, dedicated item slots for each slot, because I don't want to keep track of like let's say people have 5 items in their slot, right? And the thing is, you can swap around your slot so that things can move. So it's like the loot is not in the original spot anymore. But if there was another thing here, I'd be able to swap it out for that thing, and then it gets totally messed up. But then if we wanted to add another item, we'd have to cycle through and say, well, as long as the slot's not already equipped, let's go ahead and just add one to the end of the table somehow. Well, I don't know, because when you save it, it has to save the items you have unlocked and probably however you have them equipped. So now that I think about it, we might not want to do that. I mean, for the demo purposes, we can probably just hard code in the 2, but for future purposes, we'd have to cycle through the item slot. We'd have to basically like keep track of how many items we have unlocked, or cycle through the item inventory page and just determine which slot we need to add an item to, depending on our current inventory. So if we have a top row full of items, then we need to add it to the next row. If we have 2, we just need to add 1 to the right. So I think for now we can kind of hard code in the second item, unless we think about another item we can have in the demo, which I'm not so sure we have. Okay, well, I guess for now, it's just one line for now. And it's this line. It's just saying, hey, go into the grid of our global inventory and insert into the second spot an item of a health potion with a quantity of 10. So if we take that out, we should not have it. But then if we open up a treasure chest, how would we do this? Like, open chest. Okay, so when we run the open chest method, we're going to say if our contents are the magic health potion, then we want to, and it's not at self anymore, it's at the global inventory item grid. We want to insert the health potion. So upon an open chest, if that chest has a health potion inside, we're going to insert the item of a health potion with 10 quantity into the second column of the first row in our global item inventory. So let's see if that works. Because we have nothing there. If we try to equip it, nothing happens because there's nothing there. But if we open up the chest right here, we found a magical elixir, use it wisely or just drink it. Now it's in our inventory. I did notice like a little bit of a glitch though. It kind of like didn't update its position until like the first frame had elapsed, or maybe I just blinked. No, yeah, it looks all weird. It looks like for like one frame, it loaded the potion in the wrong spot. Maybe I'm just like blinking though. I can't even tell. Yeah, it does. It does load it wrong. It's not as smooth as this. This is kind of weird. Should we update the item inventory as well upon the open chest? just so that might deter any... Uh-oh. Okay. That worked. Why was our loot equipped though? Did that work? Why does it think... Oh, it thinks our loot's equipped. As soon as we open, it equipped our loot for us. So maybe it's not update. But let's take a look at the treasure chest class and see what we might be missing. So we insert the grid here upon an open chest. We set the position of the sprite. There is no update for the treasure chest. So when we're rendering... Okay, so this must be, yeah, in the item inventory we want to check. Which is an inventory item. Yeah, if it's, oh gosh. If it's item, which is not key item, then we basically have this stuff. So yeah, when we insert the health potion, we are effectively just inserting it into the grid there. So when we go to render or update, see, look, if input is pressed action, then we handle A input, which, okay. So that's why we equip it when we went to update. But what we really want to do is whatever's causing the issue of rendering the item slot, you know, we kind of just... Because right here we just render an item, so something in the item render isn't getting updated, so we might just update the item itself. Let's see. Okay, so the item itself, if you update, it's just basically... Update takes in 2 params. And this is just to... This is weird. Because this isn't... We shouldn't have called this update. Because this is like... instead of updating it over time with delta time, we're updating the position of the grid. Depending on what you're selected on your cursor row. So like when we're rendering the item, something's getting jacked up here. Like when we render the item, we're rendering it here at the self X and Y position. So if we were to set the item, yeah, because this is why it's flipping out, is because we render the position based off the row and column of the item. So all we have to do is do an item update with the row and column that we're expecting to move it to. So in our open chest method, we should just need to do a item update. So the item would be the global item inventory, and then it would be at the grid of 1 and 2, and we would then run it's actually index 1 because it's the object that's inside that table. Then we want to update it with a row of 1 and a column of 2. So if we run the update, that'll actually move the X position of the selector before the selector renders it in the default, because like our cursor's defaulting to the first grid, and that's why it's setting the health potion's X and Y location to the index of the first grid. That's why we have to update it here so that it changes its position to the proper grid location. Okay, that worked. That worked. Cool. Awesome. Okay. Wow. All right, so we've got a health potion in the game now. It's equipable. We need to worry about saving our inventory system exactly as it is and saving the chest. Saving the chest status for every treasure chest object. Because you can't just come in here and open another one and get another one. Unless we decide we want to reset it. So it is fun to open the treasure chest because you get the show off. So maybe we'll do some treasure chests in game that do reset after a certain amount of time, like our mineral refinery does. But I think this is good for the shortcut. I mean, this was kind of a bonus thing we added anyway. But this is cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna just walk through and play part of it from the Dark Forest. So let's say we wanted to play from the Dark Forest. Oh, dude. Do the bats get reset? Oh, shoot, man. The bats don't get reset? The bats get reset off screen, but not on screen. Oh my god. Really? I didn't think we'd have that issue. Okay, here's a shortcut. Yeah, so if we read this, it says Mount Wutai is off limits during blizzards. We can't push. You found a magical health elixir. Sweet. Glop. Sweet. Oh no. Okay, so we need to fix the bats. The bats need to respawn. And I don't know why they aren't. Okay, so let's try to figure this out. I don't know what we're doing with Dark Bat. Because basically what happens is in the flee state, at the end of the flee state, if the bat is off the screen, it takes a certain amount of time to change back to a spawn state. So I don't see what we're doing differently on any of these. Where are the... These are the new bats here. Okay. So are we doing anything different for these bats than we are over here? I don't... We copied the code, so I don't see how we would be doing anything different. Let's check out the normal dungeon and see if the bats are getting reset. Yeah. Okay, so let's see how we do the reset. I'm pretty sure it's from a flee state. So when we flee the state, yeah, we do this reset original position at some point. So if not blocked, then we reset the original position. Okay, so we cycle through the collidable map objects table. If the thing is a pushable... Okay, so this is never happening if there's no pushable object in the scene. Because we're basically saying... Yeah, I think we just want to add a catch that says if there's no collidable objects in the scene, we still just want to reset them. But we're checking this. This is in the flee state, and it's like these two conditions are if the things fly off screen. We want to say if the map at this scene view current map row and column if there is no, and it's not equal to nil, we could say if the number of things in there, no. Uh-oh. Yeah. Yeah, I guess we can do this. So we can say if it's nothing, then we want to reset the original position. And then otherwise, we can cycle through all the collidable map objects and do that. It's a little weird. Let's try that though. Okay, so let's see if they respawn here in the normal dungeon, and then we'll check the above. Okay, those guys are respawning seemingly fine. Oh, shit. Okay, I killed them. They're not coming back. Why? I'm just going to try to reset the original position regardless of block status and see if that fixes it. We need to allow it to be blocked, right? Because it's like there's a check we have to do because they can't come out if their bat hole is blocked. So if we cleanse them... Okay, so that is the part. So yeah, we just need a condition that does this where it checks if we have no collidable map objects. So if it's empty, if it's equal to an empty table, does it equal nil? I don't even know. Let's see if we can do it where, you know, we check the map. Can we test equality for an empty table, or does it not work like that? Can we say, yeah, if the map... Can we say if it is equal to an empty table? Does it work like that? No? Can you do that? Let's try it. You know what? We actually don't have we have rubies as collidable map objects. So why does the block not work then? Uh-oh, that was a mistake. Oh my gosh, can you really? Oh my god. You can really do this if you're pixel perfect. Shoot, man. I think we gotta change the holy room. 'Cause this isn't okay. You know, we would need our... Because yeah, if you think about this, this means that the top of the bottom hitbox and the bottom of the top hitbox are aligning so that there's like 1 pixel of gap for our feet. So we need to either make... the top have one. Yeah, we're gonna have to break the. I'm not about to do like different collision based on the type of chasm it is, you know? So we might just have to rehaul the whole room. The room of holes. But that still doesn't explain why. Because, yeah, if we were... This is bad. Oh my god. Yeah, you really can. Okay. So it's not here, but we cycle through if it's a type pushable, which, if not blocked. Yeah, so if it's not a type pushable, we need to just reset the position anyway. So right here, reset original position. That should fix it. Because it was a collidable object, but it wasn't a pushable. So now they should come back. Really, man? Really? What if we don't check if it's a pushable? We just say, we go through our collidable map objects. I feel like that would screw some stuff up. But let's try taking that out. We don't care if it's a pushable. Yeah, we really just can't respawn them to save our life, man. I'm a little stumped. Because we know it's that line of code. We know it's in the flee state. We tracked it down. For some reason. Let me make sure the Rubies are collidable map objects. No, they're mineral deposits. Shit. Okay. So yeah, it does come down to, let's just print up the value of what it is in this room, and we'll see. So in the bat flea state, we're just going to print up the value of whatever's in this collidable map object table. I think it should be just an empty table. Yeah, we want to essentially just take this table and we want to convert it so that we can actually view it, and we'll do that with inspect. So we'll inspect it and then we'll give 0, 0 for the top left. Okay, so I'm thinking this would be an empty table. Once we're in the flea state, it should show up. Yeah, an empty table. Now, is it equal to nil? Can we say, is this equal to nil or not? And print up the result of it being equal to nil. It's not equal to nil. Okay, so can we say, is it equal to an empty table? Probably not, because it's passed by reference, not value. Yeah, it's not equal to an empty table. So how can we check to see if this is empty? Can we check if the number of things in it? Can we say the number of things is equal to 0? Will it become true then? It is. Okay, so we can do this. We can test equality with the number length operator, whatever that thing is called. So right here, when we cycle through, if the thing is going off screen, we're just going to see, and we can do this. We can just copy over what we had. So we can say, well, if the number of those things is equal to 0, meaning there is nothing in the collidable map object table, then we want to go ahead and reset original position. Yeah. Okay, this should work now. Because both conditional checks I made were under false pretenses, so this one should actually work. Okay, so we cleanse him, give him 2 seconds, and he comes out. Okay, great. We got spawning back. Cool. Nice. Okay. That's good. Now, we still need the issue of being able to walk over chasms. Yeah, dude, I don't think this is gonna come out good. If we change the hitboxes, then it'll break this room. Because, yeah, technically, we'd be able to walk either vertically or horizontally through the chasm. It's just harder to get this lined up. So what I'm going to do is turn off the bats for this. So yeah, turn off the bats for scene 213 here. And I'm just going to test if I can walk vertically up through it. I'm pretty sure if I'm pixel perfect, I can. No. Oh, man. You really can. So I guess we have two options. We can just expand our hitbox and change the holy room. Yo, what up, Kavictus? Yo, I got some terrible news for you, Kavictus. I don't know if you saw, but if you line yourself up just right, you can walk through the chasms, just like how the next room you have to line yourself up to walk through. Because it's using the same collision, so technically every chasm has a sweet spot that you can just walk right through, because that's how we're getting through here. So I'm going to probably have to get rid of that idea, because if you line yourself up right, which granted is not super easy, you can totally walk right over it. So yeah, it's not great. Yeah, just the fact that that's possible. So like we can do one of two things. We could give these chasms a more strict fall policy, and we can give the single hole ones a less strict fall policy. We could do that. But I'm kind of leaning towards just changing the overall collision detection for the chasms to negate that sweet spot where you can walk through it. And then we'll just have to come up with something else for the room above us. So that's kind of where I'm at now. Because like that should not be possible. Because even there, like if you line up just right, it's like a 1 pixel tolerance, but still. Yep. Okay. Let's see how we're doing. Yeah, it's a feature. Yeah. I don't even know where we're triggering the chasm falls. We have a chasm falling boolean. Falling. Chasm detection. What? Yo, sounds good, Kavictus. Thanks for the lark, man. This isn't exactly what I want to do. Okay, so here is the chasm. Yeah, man. Like either we could give it a stricter version of the collision here. I just don't like the idea that we'd have to check Yeah, man, I don't think so. I think we just need to make the falling stricter, and we'll just redesign the top room there. Yeah, because I'm not into... We could define another method for a less strict chasm collide for single holes. But then we'd have to, whenever we check for collision, we have to ask its tile ID what collision it is. Crap. You know what? Should we just try it? Let's just try to do it. I don't know. It's not a feature I'm like dead set on keeping. But it is fun. The holy room is fun. So look at that. Okay, so we have... Oh my god, dude. Just the math on this shit. Okay, well, technically, this would be the lenient collision detection, right? We already have that. So... where do we check the chasm? Where do we actually invoke this method? We do it in the map. At 161 and 167 and 181. Player to chasm collision. Okay, well... we're kind of doing this where we're, you know, we cycle through our chasms and we're saying, well, does our player left collide with a chasm? If so, see, why do we do that? Oh, we have to determine which type of fall we get. Oh, shit, man. Dude, I feel like this is going to be too much effort for something I'm not completely sold on. So I think we're going to have to just nuke the holy room and yeah, I think we're going to have to nuke the holy room. I mean, if we really wanted to do it, what we'd have to do is... does the chasm table have a tile ID of what it is? No, it's just like the tile... Yeah, dude, it's too much work. Yeah, it's too much work because of the way we do it with tiled. What we're doing is we defined a chasm start and chasm end as this range of chasms down here in our tile map. So anything from here, anything from this green spot to over here is a chasm. And as we go through our data downloader, cycling through all the tile IDs, if it's in that range, we say it's a chasm and put it in the chasm table, but we don't save the ID of that chasm to know whether or not it's a single chasm or an edge chasm. So if we want to go try to keep both of those methods, it's going to get messy, and we're going to have to add another global table for singular chasms. And then, yo, Wabajank, what's up? Yeah, so I'll show you what's up. We did a I'll show you what we did with the health potion and what all I've done so far. Well, yeah, and I'm going to end stream fairly soon here, but we got uh-oh. I added the bat respawn in that first dungeon, and then out here we added a treasure chest, and this is where the potion is. So now that you can open the treasure chest, you get the potion, and then it's in your inventory, because when you first play, it's not in your inventory, but it only goes in your inventory if you actually open it from the treasure chest. So that's what I got in the game today, and then now I'm having like this issue where you can walk through the chasms if you're lined up just right like this. Because of our lacks, there's like a 1 pixel buffer. This is how the holy room works. But I didn't realize it's been broke like this for the rest of the game this whole time. So we have to kind of extend our hitboxes for the chasm so that this isn't possible. And it's also possible if I'm like, look at just like that too. It's possible that too. But any pixel, any other direction, and you fall off. But that's just not okay. So I was kind of talking through with Kavictus like what it would take for us to have the holy room still work with these chasms, and it's just not worth it. It is just, it's not worth the effort when we're this close to kind of going through with the demo. So I think I'm just going to go change the chasm collide methods. And then redesign the holy room to be something else. Okay, so, dude, there's a lot of junk going on in here. So, in order to switch up, we would need to basically expand, because if this is the top right collide with the chasm function, then we need to expand the height, the Y of the collision detection so that it's less lenient on the Y. But the AABB gets so confusing because we have to, in order to know like which corner to drag the player to when you fall in a chasm, we have to know like which chasm you collided with the most, basically. So we broke, it's not a single collision. It's 4 different collisions because yeah. I don't know, dude. Let's see, because if the chasm top right Y plus the top right height -1, maybe if we don't minus the 1 here in the top right, and we get rid of that height difference, then we'll test walking horizontally and see if it's still busted or not. Okay, so vertical is still broke, but is horizontal fixed? No. Well, shit, man. Dude. Like the functions for this AABB collision are just so abstract in my head that I'm literally just guessing which ones to modify, because I'm like, okay. Okay, so that fixes the horizontal ones. Okay, we can still walk vertically through it. So that would be the X checker. So maybe instead of this +2, let's try a +1. Or I guess the left side. Oh shit, man. Let's try nixing the +2 completely from those two. Okay, I'm not sure it's possible anymore. Shit, man. Okay, well, I might. Well, let's see. Yeah, it looks like right here we do get pulled in no matter what pixel we're at. Yeah. Okay, so I think it's fixed. It just means that the pits are more sensitive to falling in, which I put, you know, I put some focus on trying to get the balance feel nice so it didn't feel like the game was scamming you and pulling you in, right? Because you can't walk like diagonally over them. That's as much leeway as you get. You get like 2 pixels of leeway. Yeah, man. It's tough. I like the balance of how it was better because this feels like really unforgiving. But yeah, maybe I'll play some Link's Awakening and see how strict they are with that, because we do give, you know, you get some good leeway to walk up towards it before you fall in, you know, so that's pretty generous. It's just like the corners are just not very forgiving. And I guess we could change. What we could do if we really wanted to make it feel a little more forgiving is because if you look at the corners in the sprite sheet, let's see. Yeah, if you look at the corners in the sprite sheet, see how there's 2 pixels of overlap. So we can make it only 1 pixel of overlaps because, like, this isn't ground, this is chasm. So if you collide with the ground here, you know, it looks like you're on ground, but that's actually a chasm completely. So like we could add, if we really wanted to, we could add some ground level tiles, like on the dungeon floor here, we can add 1 pixel of black to be the corner, so that the ground level is actually safe and not that the ground being a chasm here. So we could change it like that to make it a little more forgiving. I honestly like how it feels the old way better, but the old way, you know, if you're pixel perfect, you can just walk through the chasms, which we can't have that. Yeah, so I'm thinking... Yeah, I'm kind of thinking we can maybe just nix like one layer of these chasms and add I don't know, it's gonna be a lot of work to redo all the sprites. But yeah, this being... It's not very forgiving because there's 2 pixels of what seems to be ground, but the game only treats it as a full chasm there. So it's not as forgiving as I'd like it to be. It's not bad though. It's not bad. I mean, that's, you know, your foot's like dangling 1 frame off still, and you're safe. It's just that if you dangle 2 frames off, you're being pulled in. The hardest thing for me is the corners, right? Because like that felt a little brutal that it pulled me in there. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I'll just be sure to name it in the git commit that this is the old chasm detection logic, because I like the way that one felt better, but this one actually fixes the bugs. So we might move forward with this one, and that just means we'll have to redesign the holy room on the top of the Ice Mountain shortcut. But at least we found that bug, you know, because for me, having made the game... Oh, did we really do this? Oh, shit. Okay, I'm going to say that we added... add health potion to treasure chest and expanded chasm detection to fix levitation bug. Okay. And yeah, we'll get push. Okay, so I'm gonna have to redesign the holy room because it's a cool idea, but the game was broken and we didn't realize it. So we've got to rehaul the holy room, and then we can move on and do the rest of the NPCs and the final layout for the demo. So we're really close. You know, it depends on how fancy we want to get with the NPCs and the fishermen and any new sprites, but other than that, we're very close to finishing the demo, so we're in a good spot, I think. I'm gonna run credits here, and then we can find someone to raid. Yo, let's see who's up. Can't oh, Prosto is on, but he cannot be raided. Prosto's a great Lua dev. Yeah, we'll hit up our boy Brightside because he's always streaming. Anyways, take it easy, y'all. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging. I'll catch y'all later. I'll be back tomorrow with some more game programming.